This area is the location for my next project. I am going to be building a structure for some new additions that we will have coming the end of June. Pretty windy today. This is a project that I found on YouTube that I think I can do primarily by myself. I guess we'll find out. I have all of the materials I need except for the roofing sheets, which if I make some good progress here in the next couple of hours, I should be able to purchase maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, to get this structure completed. So as always, I've found the directions from a video on YouTube, and there will be some adjustments that I will need to make after it's complete, but that's a couple weeks down the road. So I don't know if my GoPro is gonna stand up here in this fabulous wind that we have going on. The wind is supposed to lessen eventually here this afternoon, but I do have a work call tonight, so we'll see how far we can get. Okay, so I'm ready to begin. First, I'll talk about what materials I have. So the tools that I have a drill with the star bit on because those are the kind of screws that I like. And I have a drill with a drill bit to pre-drill those screw holes. I learned my lesson by not doing that. Although frankly, the video I watched to learn how to build this structure, they did not do that, but I learned my lesson. My tape measure, that little piece of drywall, which I'm going to use as the spacing for the floor, a marker to measure things, of course, my level. There were a total of 14 2x6s, 8 feet long. That will pretty much build the frame of the structure. There are 4x4s, 8 feet long. 2 of them will remain 8 feet, and 2 of them will be shortened so that the roof can be slanted. I was supposed to use 1x6 decking board for the floor. We could not find that at the store this weekend, so I just ended up getting more 2x6s. So the floor will just be a little thicker than it was intended. And then I think there were 16 of those for the floor. And then there's 24 1x6s, and this will make the 3 walls of the structure. I bought these 4 cement blocks to elevate it off the ground because the structure is going to be elevated. I can tell just by looking at this that my back right corner there is a little bit high. So I'm going to do a little bit of playing around to get this level, and then I'm going to start assembling. Ran into my first problem in that I bought a whole box of screws for this project, and I believe they're still in the back of Chris's truck, which is in Cheyenne. So thankfully, I always have a plethora of 3-inch decking screws on hand, so that's what I'm going to use. Not sure how great my GoPro video is turning out because it keeps getting blown over by the wind, so I'll just update as I go. So here is the base of the foundation. I used 3 screws at each corner. It is pretty level. I had to make one small adjustment to this corner to get it level. Next step is to measure 6 inches, up 6 inches on the 4x4s. Because that's how much ground clearance they're going to have. And then I will screw those in. Again, the video that I watched, they used 5 screws on each edge, just for extra stability. Again, because of the wind around here, I will probably do the same. So now I'm going to measure 6 inches up from the bottom on each of them. I'm eventually going to have to cut a little bit off of two of them because the ceiling, or the roof rather, will be slanted, but I have to measure, I have to do a little bit of measurement for that. Okay, so got the base done, got the 4 main braces of 4x4s. So these back 2 are shorter than the front 2 because it's going to be a slanted roof. The video that I watched, the guys just put the 2 4x4x8s up and then cut the top off with a reciprocating saw. I didn't want to do that, so I measured the 6 inches from the bottom, the 5.5 inches of the 2x6, and then came up 48 inches. And then just cut the top off would have been with the jigsaw. So this is a good spot as any to stop and get a drink, make sure the dogs have water, and then continue with the next step. Alright, I'm stopping for today. I had hoped to use up all of my 2x6s today, but I am still shy 3. For whatever reason, none of the 2x6s I have fit for this other floorboard, and I have to put two boards at 32 and 64 in the ceiling, and I'm guessing if they don't fit in the floor, they're not going to fit in the ceiling. So I will cut them, trim them down tomorrow, get the floor in. I may need some assistance with doing the 2 pieces in the roof, unless I can brace them like I did those other pieces today, which I suppose is possible. Next is the floor and the sides, and then I'm done. So in the video that I watched, it was 2 young guys building this, and they said that they built it in 2 hours. I have been working for 3 hours, and this is as far as I got. I was being pretty anal retentive in terms of making sure things were level, because my chicken coop, or my chicken brooder in the garage, is not level, and it drives me crazy every time I look at it. So since this is going to be outside my kitchen window and I can see it all the time, I wanted to make sure it was level. So I think laying the floor and doing the sides will go pretty quickly. And I should finish it this week. So if you have any ideas about what we're building here and why we're building it, drop your ideas in the comments and we'll let you know in a future episode if you're right or not. Today we moved the structure from here, where I initially put it, to here. The reason being is the wind generally comes from this area. So we wanted the shelter to be a little bit more protected from the wind and the afternoon sun. So this will provide a little bit of shade, but most importantly, will block a great deal of the wind, particularly in the winter. So now I'm getting started with the floor. My GoPro's dead, so I will just have to intermittently stop. But the floor was originally supposed to be 2x6 decking boards. We could not find decking boards. No, I'm sorry, 1x6 decking boards, and couldn't find those, so just ended up buying more 2x6x8s. So I have a little piece of drywall there that I'm using as my spacer to be about a half an inch apart. And it looks like I'm going to be short one 2x6 for the edge. So maybe I can scrounge one up around here. If not, I have to stop and get one. Got the first 4 floorboards in here. Boards are a little bit warped, so it's okay. I mean, it's a floor, whatever. I only put the front and the back screws it. I'm going to go back once the whole floor is in and put across the center, primarily just to get it as level as possible, just because of the warped nature of some of them. But yeah, I should definitely get the floor done today, and the walls will be next. Still need to get the material, the sheeting for the roof. Maybe do that later today, kind of depends on the weather. Wind is supposed to stop for a little bit, but then it's theoretically supposed to rain later this evening, so kind of play it by ear, see what happens. It is more than a little bit windy out here today, but I'm going to see what I can accomplish on my structure. All right, now I got all of the holes pre-drilled down these center joists. I have a problem with drill bits. As you can see, that one is stuck in the wood. There's my other set of holes. So I'm going to go back and add the screws in. There's another drill bit. This one broke off. I seem to have a problem with drill bits. Not sure what my story is, but can't seem to find any that I can't break. So I buy cheap ones because I break all of them. So my hope is today to get one side of the wall up, but this wind is a lot to deal with. I think I got as much done today as I'm going to get done because got this great weather system coming in and I'd rather get cleaned up and then get stuck. I got the floor done, mostly screwed in. Have finished this row and then one more row there on that joist going across, and then the floor will be done. Then my 1x6s will make up the back wall and the 2 sides. And then the last thing I will have to do is the roof, and I will probably get the sheeting tomorrow. I think the floor looks pretty darn good. I did do a slight modification from the video. The video that I saw took a 2x6 the whole way to the edge of this platform, and then they used the wall on the floor. Instead of using a 2x6, I used a 2x4 for that last little stretch of floor so that I can put the wall flush against the floor as opposed to sitting on the floor. It's mostly just for an added layer of stability and really windproofing. Again, primarily for the winter. So in my head, that works, but time will tell. So it's supposed to be another really, really windy day tomorrow, which when the temperatures in the mid 60s like it is today, that doesn't matter too much. I don't mind the wind, but if it gets a little bit colder, then it's a little troublesome. So good progress so far, and probably a couple more hours to finish. All right, we'll try the GoPro today, but as per the usual, super windy. But because I have walls in the structure, maybe I could keep the GoPro up. I'm gonna work on constructing the front of the structure. I got, Chris was able to rip these pieces. Not sure what happened here because he used the reciprocating saw to trim these. But anyway, so these were ripped and those were shortened up, and now the sides are done. So I'm going to work today on getting the front constructed. I'm not sure that'll be good enough, but I'll try it. Kidding me? Boy. Okay, didn't do a great job measuring that. This wind is exhausting. All right, so here I am half a day later. Had this wall built once, realized I did something wrong, deconstructed it, built it again. So, in order to get my door to be flush with the exterior wall, I have to add 1x6 to this post. Chris had originally suggested just do one vertically. That will bother my sense of symmetry. So I have cut 8 pieces to make this post match. So now that I've built that wall twice, I'm going to just attach these little 8 pieces to this part of the wall. All right, I'm gonna make the frame for my gate. My gate is not particularly square. gonna make it based on, build it on the smallest measurements. 36 1/4 for the width. All right, well, it fits. Fits at the top. I knew it was going to be small at the bottom. It was supposed to be small at the bottom. But it was supposed to be small at the top, too. So, I don't know if maybe Chris can use his planer to shave off a little bit of the top on both sides. If he can, that should work. Right, the height is good because what I'm going to do is now I'm going to put the boards so yeah, that should work, right? So I want the boards to come down a little bit further so that, right, so if the door shuts, the boards match the bottom. But as it is now, it's a little snug on top, but not by much. So I think I should be able to get Chris to use his planer and just shave a little bit off, like from here up, like from that knot up, and I should be okay. It's going to be a pretty heavy door. I think I bought hinges for 50 pounds. Hope that's big enough. Maybe I'll have to go back and get heavier duty hinges. And then the other thing that I have to figure out, and what I'll probably do is after the door is totally constructed, I'll put a frame behind it with the hardware cloth so that it's attached to the door, so that whenever somebody's going in, right, originally I was thinking maybe I would just make a frame and put the hardware cloth here, but then you're going to have to duck down to go on it. So I think instead I'm going to build a frame and tuck the hardware cloth behind it. But I'm not going to do the hardware cloth until the roof is done, which need to wait for a not windy day.